get some business news for you now. Kate Moody is with us in the studio. And Kate, one of the tech world's biggest events has just been cancelled because of the coronavirus outbreak.
Yeah, absolutely. Organisers of the Mobile World Congress have said that they can no longer go ahead as planned. The GSMA, which organises the annual gathering in Barcelona, said the global concern regarding the coronavirus outbreak, as well as travel concern and other circumstances, make it impossible to go ahead as planned. This is the biggest event for the mobile tech world. It had been due to focus on the rollout of fifth generation or 5G mobile networks. The likes of Amazon, Sony, Facebook, Ericsson, Intel, all among those that had all said in the past few days that they would not be attending, saying they didn't want to expose their staff to the possible health risks of international travel. We'll have more on that announcement as we get it throughout the evening. Well, Germany's biggest bank has already warned that the coronavirus outbreak could push the country into recession. Deutsche Bank research said that GDP could be dampened by as much as 0.2% in the first quarter of 2020. That would make a technical recession, or 2 consecutive quarters of contraction, highly possible. Germany's export-driven economy is heavily reliant on China. The deadly virus has seen factories and businesses grind to a halt across China. That's impacted overseas partners, which are dependent on Chinese parts for their supply chains. Germany's GDP growth slowed drastically last year. Figures for the fourth quarter will be published on Friday, but economists are expecting muted or possibly negative growth. Let's check in on the day's trading action now. The major European indices closed higher despite another drop in manufacturing activity. Shares of Heineken were up about 5% in Amsterdam as the beer maker predicted strong growth and a change in management. Wall Street's also trending up, investors again shrugging off those concerns about the impact of the coronavirus. The Dow Jones has jumped over 200 points to a new record. Shares of Lyft sliding 9% as the ride-hailing app reported $1 billion in quarterly revenue, but forecast slower growth for the year ahead. An EU court is beginning to hear Google's appeal against a €2.4 billion fine from the European Commission. The EU's General Court will hear appeal arguments over 3 days. Lauren Berstecker has the story.
July 2017, the European Commission slapped Google with a €2.4 billion fine for breaching its antitrust laws, the first in a series of major penalties against the internet giant.
Google has abused its market dominance as a search engine by giving illegal advantages to another Google product, its shopping comparison service.
Google was accused of squeezing rival companies out of its search results in order to promote ads, as well as its own shopping service, creating an unlevel playing field. The search engine giant swiftly appealed the verdict, arguing the fine was unfair and that its algorithms were designed to provide users with the most relevant results. As both sides gathered in court again on Wednesday, Google presented another argument that the ruling was impeding technological progress.
If Google would have faced the Commission's decision in 2008, Google would have had no other option but to abandon its innovative technologies and its improved designs.
Wednesday's appeal was the first in a series of 3 filed by Google, which is contesting a total of €8.25 billion in fines for anti-competitive behavior. The verdict could also have repercussions for a wider range of cases opposing the European Commission to other U.S. tech giants, such as Amazon, Apple, and Facebook.
Energy giant BP has said it's aiming for net zero carbon emissions by the year 2050. New chief executive Bernard Looney said that he would be overseeing a fundamental reorganization of the company's business, including more investment in renewable energy and a gradual reduction in oil and gas production over time. But the announcement faced immediate criticism for a lack of detail and so-called greenwashing, or pledging to reduce or offset its own emissions when the core of its business remains based on fundamentally polluting fuels. Just a week ago, Laura, we saw Greenpeace activists protesting outside BP headquarters as Looney took office. He seems to be reacting. Whether it'll go far enough remains to be seen.
All right, Kate, thanks very much indeed. Kate Moody there with the business. Let's get some sports for you now. Simon Harding.